Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice and I have my weekly sales update video for you. So this is going to cover Etsy, Poshmark and eBay for the week of February the 10th through to the 16th, 2020. And it's been a pretty good week sales wise again for me, which I'm happy with. Not quite as good as last week. Last week was a really good one for me, or the first good one in quite a while. But it's been pretty consistent, pretty steady this week. And for that, I am truly grateful. So what I'm going to do is, as usual, show you each item that has sold. I will let you know if I can remember where I picked them up from. I'll let you know that my average cost of goods per item is $1.69. That's how it works out across the entire year. Like when I do my taxes and stuff, that is how it breaks down, how it all comes out in the wash, as it were. So $1.69 per item is what you can keep in mind. And I'll try and let you know roughly how long the items were listed for as well, so you can kind of get an idea of that sell-through rate. All right, here we go. So Etsy, one sale on Etsy, which was this Disney vintage tie, kind of like music themed tie for $24.95. I do like picking up the vintage Disney ties, and I do find that Etsy is the best place for me to be selling those. They seem to go pretty quickly there for me, always have. Hopefully they will continue to do so, and so I always pick them up at rummage sales and things like that. Next item is Angel of the North by Anthropology. I'll go ahead and show you that label as well. Cardigan. This was actually one of my own personal pieces from my closet. I did find it while out thrifting, but I decided to keep it, and I kept it for about a year or so. And then in the end, I just wasn't wearing it very much, so I went ahead and sold it. That's what the Angel of the North tag looks like. And this sold in a day for $24, so I was happy enough with that. But it was really, really pretty with like all of the way that it was knit at the back, all the detail and stuff. So hopefully they love it. Next is One World, and I believe this was a larger size. It was an extra large, so it's okay. I do prefer One World in plus sizes, like maybe 1X and above. However, it's very nice, kind of like ethnic inspired, if you like, lots of sublimation print type brand, and this sold for $16, and I think that may have been a yard sale find. Next on Poshmark is this vintage Ralph Lauren houndstooth purse. It was quite small. It was like a shoulder bag style. This one sold for $18. I had found another one at the same rummage sale, just at a different time, that was larger, and that one sold for a bit more, I guess because of the size, and it was a bit more sort of classic colors, like tan colors. This one was a bit darker, but the houndstooth print is nice, and again, that kind of 90s Ralph Lauren style can do quite well. However, this piece was listed for probably a good 6 to 8 months, so, you know, was hanging around for a little while, but like I said, $18, and on its way it went. Next is a pair of vintage sort of like 80s, 90s style jeans, mom jeans. I define mom jeans by a very high rise. So the front rise here was about 10.5 to about 11 inches, which is sort of not as high as they can go. They can go up to 13. I've had them before, which is above the belly button and definitely high rise there. But they also had like this tapered leg, and that's what I really define as a vintage mom jean personally. And of course, all the tags inside were like paper tags, made in the USA, all of the good stuff. And so they sold for $20. Now I don't always pick up all of the like mom jeans in any old brand. I obviously prefer them if they're like vintage Calvin Klein or vintage Levi's, something like that. However, these had a very nice dark wash, and I just like the overall condition of them was really good, so I did go ahead and pick them up, and again, that $20 selling point. All right, this was a bit of a surprise for me. So this has been lurking in my death pile for a really long time because I just didn't think there was that much point in listing it, and it sold in a day and a half, so there we go. It's just a graphic t-shirt for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I'm ashamed to say I've never even seen an episode of, but I guess it's quite popular. And yeah, it sold for $14 in like 24 to 48 hours, so I was really happy with that. I guess those graphic t-shirts still do quite well. Next is a bundle. So this is 2 items together, and both items together sold for $45. So the first item was this pair of 90s floral super high rise wide leg shorts. That front rise in these was 15 inches, so definitely above the belly button there. And these were actually Talbots, but like old, vintage Talbots if you like. And I just loved that bold print and that high rise kind of flared leg style. I thought they were really cool, and someone else did too. So they found a new home, and then they also got this Talbots piece as well. A really, really beautiful knit blazer. It had a gorgeous texture to it and a really, really lovely like speckled kind of knit to it. And so like I said, those 2 pieces together was $45. All right, next is another graphic t-shirt, Harry Potter, Hogwarts is my home. I don't get all of the Harry Potter stuff. It really depends on the price. I think this one was maybe a yard sale find for under $1. But I did like the kind of lace-up detail it had on the neckline there. Now, when I looked at comps, they weren't super strong. I think they were, oh goodness, maybe like $14 or so, but I priced it at $18. It did have one little flaw, like one teeny tiny little hole, I think. Maybe it would have been in the description if it's there. But it's very, very small, and I just like the style so much, and Harry Potter is still popular. And it did eventually sell for $16, but I think I had it listed for, again, a good 6 months. Okay, next, Banana Republic Black Wash Classic Bootcut Jeans. I'd only just listed these, I think, like maybe a week ago, and they already sold, which is kind of surprising to me because I don't usually do that well with like Banana Republic jeans and stuff. Again, we're in the death pile right now because I'm waiting for those rummage sales to start up here in my area, like in the next month or so. So I'm just listing everything that I possibly can. Like I said, I pulled some things out of my own wardrobe because I haven't been able to get out thrifting. We've had a lot of flooding here, and just generally just try to get everything that I can up to be consistent with my listing. And yeah, these were one of them. But just like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia t-shirt, I probably shouldn't have waited on them because they sold really quickly and I got $16 out of them. I know this was a total fail on my part. 90s Bloomingdale's messenger bag. I think I had one of these. Like, my mom brought me one back from New York when she went on holiday when I was a teenager, so a while ago now. And I loved it. I really, really did. Like, super 90s style. And nobody else cared, apparently, because I've had it in my store now for a good 2 years. In fact, the thrift store I got it from has gone out of business. It's been that long. And so eventually the first offer I ever got on this item, like two and a half years in the making, was $10, and I took it because this thing needed to go somewhere else. So hopefully they absolutely love it and it found a good home. But yeah, definite fail on my part there. Okay, next, fresh produce, size XXL, so it was a good size. It was a solid brown, kind of like draped front dress. I like fresh produce a lot. I'll show you the tag. It's kind of like a coastal kind of a brand usually, like you do kind of find it at the beach and things like that. It is not cheap. Kind of gives me some Lily Pulitzer vibes, but maybe just like not quite as high end as Lily Pulitzer. However, this was obviously a very, very sort of, not bland, but very, it was a very classic piece. And I do prefer it when it has the sort of coastal print. So sometimes it'll have starfish or fish or leaves, like foliage, tropical, that kind of thing. So that's usually what I look out for. But I think I grabbed this because of the size, and it took a little while to sell, a good few months, but it did sell finally for $20. All right. Next, finally, this thing sold. So newer tags, We the Free, or Free People, sweater. It was really, really beautiful teal with like a draped cowl neck. It was an open back detail. It was gorgeous. I actually got it off of Posh. This is a reposh on my part because it did not fit the way that I wanted it to. I only paid about $7. I think it worked out after shipping anyway. And it finally sold for $40. But it has been listed now for, it's got to be almost a year at this point, like 8-9 months up. So yeah, it just goes to show that even newer tags and stuff, it doesn't always matter, even though it's a good brand. But I'm glad that someone finally scooped it up and took it off my hands. Okay, CJ Banks, this was another thing that just sold really, really quickly. I got this from a rummage sale just a couple of weeks ago. It caught my eye because it was a 3X and it had the ombre style coloration to it that I thought was really, really nice. CJ Banks isn't something I would usually pick up, but those two factors and the fact it was a filler bag, so my cost of goods was really, really, really low on that day. I did go ahead and grab it, and again, this sold in less than a day for $20, so happy with that. And the last Poshmark item is this newer tags Calio, which I think is Carrie Underwood's like athleisure type line. If I'm wrong, please do tell me. But this is what it looks like. Looks like, yeah, by Carrie Underwood. Haha, I got it right. So yeah, it was brand new with tags. I got this from a yard sale. I think I paid like $3 at the time for it, and the comps look promising, but this has sat and sat and sat. It's been, again, a good 6 to 7 months, and someone finally bought it for $25. So a good return on investment in the end, but it did sit for a while. All right, and on to eBay. All right, so eBay, we're going to start with this Under Armour. I think it was a golf shirt. Yeah, fitted like polo shirt or golf shirt, a women's one. Now, I do not usually sell single pieces of Under Armour. Usually I would look to try and lot them up or something like that. Or if they were maybe like newer tags or a larger style or a very specific print, I would pick them up. But a solid, like just polo shirt like this, I usually wouldn't. But this one did sell. So I'm eating my words. It's been listed probably for about 1 to 2 months, and it sold for $14 on a best offer. I've been really, really forthcoming with sending offers out to watchers as well on eBay this week, and I still feel like it is serving me really, really well. So if you haven't tried that yet, I absolutely recommend you kind of dabble with that, because it seems to have really lifted my sales sort of anecdotally. Okay. Vintage Tennessee Volunteers graphic hooded top, super 90s. Unfortunately did have some staining and discoloration that I could not get out, so I had to disclose that and list it lower. I usually would have listed it for around $40 if it had been in better condition, but someone bought it for $19.99, full asking price then. Hopefully they like it. And next is Loft black and grey pinstripe blazer. I do not buy a lot of this Loft career wear anymore. I just find, especially the petite, I just find that it really, really sits. I've had this for over a year now, and it finally sold for the $16.09 you see there on a 30% off sale. Next is this funny little t-shirt. I picked this up not long ago at all, and I grabbed it because, hey, it was a weird graphic t-shirt, and why the heck not? And it was cheap. It was just like a funny cat St. Patrick's Day t-shirt. It was a size 2XL, and it was listed for a week before it sold. So apparently that's what people were looking for this week. But yes, $14 is what that sold for on a best offer. Next is a Golden Girls like shredded style t-shirt that said squad goals. It was a size 1X. I picked this up at a yard sale, and this has actually sat for a while. It's had quite a lot of attention, quite a lot of likes, and quite a lot of like watches and things like that, but no one had made an offer. And so someone offered me $18, and I went ahead and took it, and I went abroad. Next is a J. Jill piece. I thought this was so pretty, like just this blue and white sort of tie-dye with pin tuck pleat detail up there at the front as well. Really, really gorgeous. And this sold for a best offer of $20 because it had been in my closet and my store and stuff for quite a while, and I was just ready to move it along. But $20 is not too bad for a J. Jill piece. This bra I picked up just the other weekend. Wackle, however you want to say it. Let me see if I can find that label for you. This and sometimes Victoria's Secret, depending on the size, and Soma are really the only bras and stuff that I'm picking up right now. I just find that I'm not doing that well with them, honestly. I'm having to be really, really picky when it comes to undergarments. This actually sold for a best offer of $11. I paid $1 at the rummage sale, and quite honestly, I picked this and one other Wackle bra up because I just didn't want to walk out empty-handed. Like, you know, I'd taken the time to go there. I wanted to at least take something. So paid $1, got $11 after fees and stuff. We made a few bucks, but, you know, having to be much more picky nowadays, I think, with the bras and stuff. Okay, these have sat for a long time. Free People distressed utility style skinny jeans. When I say utility, it was just kind of, you can kind of see there with the style, and they have some seam work and stuff that was kind of interesting. Yeah, I picked these up at a yard sale. Oh goodness, probably not quite a year ago, probably about that 8-9 months range ago again. And they finally sold for $20 on a best offer. I've had them as high as $45, and I've sent out offers, you know, around like 25 and stuff, but when someone offered me 20, I went ahead and took it just to move them on. Right, newer tags and tailor size extra large, just a striped cardigan. This went for a best offer of $14.25. I would have hoped to have gotten closer to $20 with it being new with tags, but quite honestly, the style isn't necessarily like on trend right now, and just because it's new with tags doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more, so $14.25 was fair enough. This piece I picked up at a rummage sale for 50 cents, and unfortunately I noticed that it was flawed, and so obviously it has to be disclosed. Now I do think it would be very easy to fix. I just didn't really want to take the time to do it, but you can kind of see it over there in the corner where it's got some of the threads and stuff missing, and I did of course do a close-up right here, just a few of those little pieces missing there. It was 100% merino wool, sheath dress, Sparrow by Anthropology. I did put floor in big old letters in the title as well. So So it's a beautiful piece, and otherwise it was in great condition, but it just needed some love. I've tried this at a 99-cent auction. I've done all kinds of stuff, could never move it, was about to pull it really, and then it sold for full asking price of $14.99. So hopefully they can upcycle that and rescue it a little bit. Okay, next is a Gap Prairie style, like light wash chambray denim shirt. Very, very boxy fit. This sold for $9 on a best offer. Just trying to get it out of here. And the final item that sold this week was this Garth Brooks World Tour, like raglan baseball tee type top. And this sold for, what you see here, 25% off, so $17.24. And of course, my buyers pay shipping. I very rarely do any kind of free shipping, though on Poshmark I do sometimes do the shipping incentive if I'm sending out offers. Okay, here come the numbers. So I had a total of 26 sales this week at $1.69 average cost of good. That means my cost of goods for every single item that I showed you here was $43.94. My gross profit was $497.51. My fees, which I count as 20%, Poshmark is a flat 20%, Etsy and eBay are usually less, but I like to account for like any shipping discounts, the fact I have a store subscription, that kind of thing. So I try to be conservative when I'm doing my fee estimates and things like that. So my fees at 20% were $99.50, which means my net profit for this week was $354.07, which I'm perfectly happy with, and I hope that it continues to rise. All right, you guys, let me know in the comments how everything is going for you. Have you seen an uptake or anything like that, like I have? Fingers crossed this is the tide turning a little bit as we get into spring. All right, you guys, I'll catch you in the next video. And yeah, have the most wonderful week. Bye.